Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the raoschesscorner. This is an introduction video to the course Practical Pawn and Games. We'll be just looking at what is inside the course and who this course is recommended for and what you guys will take away at the end of the course. So by looking at the name Practical Pawn and Games, I'm sure most of you guys already understand what this course is. It has nothing to do with theory. So you must know theory in order to solve the puzzles, but we're not going to study any theory in the course. So using the theory which you already know, you can maybe solve a few puzzles, but not directly. Puzzles are very complicated, I can assure you. It is not easy at all. Even when I was solving the puzzles myself initially, I took a lot of time understanding the position and then finding the whole variations and all that. But one thing that I can tell you is that in these types of positions and puzzles, calculation and imagination is everything. If your calculation is really good, then your puzzle solving ability in these types of positions really improve. So at the end of the course, you not only understand how pawn and king endgames work, but you also improve your calculation and imagination. Because trust me, there are a lot of moves to calculate. You can already see a position right now on your screen where it is black to play, because there is 8 written down there and there is 1 on the top. So people who have watched the previous courses before, they already know that 8 down means it's black to play. It's black to play and win the game. So this is one of my favorite positions actually from the course, where black does something very beautiful. I just wanted to show you this puzzle. I think this is puzzle number 16. So there are 35 puzzles in total in the whole course, and there are 35 very difficult puzzles. To solve these 35 puzzles, it might take you around, I could say, 10 hours to solve 35 puzzles. So you can do the math on how many puzzles an hour. So it's definitely very difficult because it'll take time to calculate, and sometimes there will be a decision to make where you will have an intuitional factor coming in the mind, and your intuition might sometimes could not work, is what I could say for now. So right now in this position, you guys can pause the video if you have not solved the puzzle in front of you, and you can try solving the puzzle, and we shall look at what the answer is. So black to play, whenever you see such type of puzzle, you got to consider candidate moves. I believe there are only 2 candidate moves in this position, that is f5 and king into d5. So out of these 2 moves, f5 and king into d5, you got to choose which one you want to play. So how do you choose it? You have to calculate. There is no other option. There is only calculation option. Let us calculate f5 once. So f5, the thing is, if you go king into a5, I'll simply start pushing my pawn, and the white king cannot stop because he is outside the box. So this is the theory of outside the box. But the king is outside. After f3, a5, f2, a6, f1 queen, he's still on a7. So white is simply losing because it is black to play. He can play queen a1 also and stop the pawn, win the game easily. So f5, the thing is, white won't play the move king into a5. White will play king c4. And now after f4, king d4, f3, king e3, white stops the pawn. So you tried the theory of fox in a chicken coop. I hope everyone watching right now know what fox in a chicken coop is. If you don't, then it is a little difficult because it is very theoretical. You have to know theory in order to solve these types of positions. So after king into d5, it feels like we can use the fox in a chicken coop theory, because after king d5, king f3, king c4, king e2, king b3, king d2, king into a4, we get the pawn. But sadly, it is an a pawn, the rook pawn. After king c1, king b3, king b1, it is going to become a draw because the rook pawn can never make a queen. So then next variation, when you think about, maybe you consider king into d5, the next candidate move that you thought about. So now king into a5, and now again if you push f5, it doesn't really make sense, because I think he can go with king b6 or anything, f4, a5, f3, a6, f2, a7, f1 queen, and a1, a8 queen. Check. A8 queen is also a check. So that's queen versus queen. It is supposed to become a draw. Then after king into d5, king into a5, I think some of you people might be thinking of this move, king c5. After king c5, you're not allowing the king to come out. So again, if you start calculating, king a6, f5, a5, f4, king b7, f3, a6, f2, a7, f1 queen, a8 queen. And then you might be thinking, okay, both queens out, it's a draw, right? So every variation that we saw right now is a draw. We saw f5 and the whole thing is a draw. We saw king into d5, king in a5, king c5, and then again pushing the whole pawn, it is a draw. We saw king into d5, king in a5, f5, again we saw it's a draw. So then where is the win? Or can black even win the game? I mean, draw is super easy. If black wants to draw, black can simply take, white takes and king comes here. It is an a pawn. So black can easily draw the game. So that is one thing. But can black win the game? If you guys have thought about all these variations but not still found the answer, you can again pause the video and try finding the complete variation and imagine the whole variation where black wins. So black plays king into d5, king into a5, king c5. We already calculated this. King a6, f5, king b7, f4, a5, f3, a6, f2, a7, f1 queen, a8 queen. But it's supposed to become a draw, right? You have a queen, you have a king, opponent has a king, opponent has a queen. So queen versus queen is supposed to become a draw. But now, if you calculate further, the white king is kind of like in a very cornered position. So you play queen f7 check. After queen f7 check, maybe he goes with something like king b8. King b8 is bad actually. I hope you guys know why. Because king b8 is immediately lost after king b6. So that's why king b8 is bad. King c8. I hope you guys are following with me. Queen e8 check. King b7. Queen d7 check. King a6. King b8 is again bad. King a6. Queen b5 check. King a7. Queen b6. Checkmate. So this is the amazing thing that happens in the position. I'll just make the moves. So the right answer is king into d5, king into a5. I'll just give it a great move here. King and a5. King c5, a brilliant move. I like this move a lot. So king a6, f5, a5. A5 is must. Otherwise the black king can take the pawn. f4, king b7, f3, a6, f2, a7, f1 queens, a8 queens. And now queen f7, the amazing move. You play queen b5 check, it's draw. You play queen b1 check, it's draw. You play queen f3, queen g2, queen h1. Any check, it is a draw. Only queen f7 check wins. As we calculated. He plays king a6, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. You simply give a check. He cannot go king a5 because check and checkmate. So he has to come back. We complete the checks and checkmate. So this is the amazing thing. Amazing way how you checkmate the white king. You see, it is a race. It is a pawn race on who makes a queen first. But what happens in the pawn race is that you make a queen, even opponent makes a queen at the same time. But you make a queen first in your move and then opponent makes a queen. So it's your turn to give the checks. Since it's your turn to give the checks, give check, 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 check and give checkmate. So it is 12 moves of calculation without moving a single chess piece. So you have to find every solution to every puzzle without moving a single chess piece. After you find the whole variation of 12 moves or any number of moves, then you can start moving chess pieces. But until then, you cannot move a single chess piece. So when you not move a single chess piece, what happens? Your imagination improves, your calculation improves, and as and when you solve extra puzzles like these types, your calculation speed also improves. And finally, after solving 35 positions, I hope even your intuitional chess might develop. So these are the things that are usually in the puzzles, like this type of position right in front of you. There are other 34 positions which are super complicated, and some positions where there are so many pawns, sometimes very less pawns. So it depends from position to position. So who this course is recommended for? If you know all theoretical pawn endgames, if you believe you know all theoretical pawn endgames like opposition, deep freeze, fox in a chicken coop, outside pass pawn, and basic things like double pawns, triple pawns, isolated pawn, connected pawns, all things relating to these types of things. Maybe even zugzwang, definitely zugzwang and outflanking. So if you know this, then definitely this course will be good for you. If you do not know the theory, then this course is not very much recommended for you. I would recommend you to kind of learn the theory of pawn endgames, maybe from me or from other sources, and after that maybe get into this course of practical pawn endgames, because if you don't know the theory, it might not make a lot of sense, these types of positions. So I guess that's it about what I had to say. We will meet in the course. Bye bye.